Welcome to the Post Credits Podcast, where we talk about movies after the credits roll. My name is Jesse.
And my name is Max.
And my name is Logan.
And today we're shaving our heads in solidarity with the Andromedons as we dive bees first into the new Yorgos Lanthimos film, Bugonia.
Yeah, and this time, I don't know if you can tell by the audio, but we're finally in a podcast studio.
Yeah, we got a real studio. Isn't
Yeah,
that super
we're in a new
cool?
location
Very
now.
nice studio.
It's
Yeah.
a very, very fancy studio. Our audio should sound better depending on how well it's been edited by me.
So it's on you.
And if you want me to edit it at some point, let me know.
Before we get into Bugonia, though, we have a question regardando Bruce Springsteen from our previous episode of the weekly spoiler review about
Ooh.
Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere.
You got a question?
What's the question?
The question is, does Bruce, as in Bruce Springsteen, think this is a great movie, as in Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere? Does he think he comes across as a great guy because he sounds awful and it looks like he doesn't know he's awful? So the answer to that question is difficult because Bruce Springsteen right now is being completely controlled by his PR agents. Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere is on the Oscar trail, and I don't think that his agents are dumb enough not to know that an Oscar nomination for his movie looks really good for him.
Yeah.
So Bruce Springsteen was on set during the filming of the movie. He has been hosting Q&A sessions and been introducing live screenings of the movie. Generally, his attitude appears to be, yes, this is a good movie. I think the problem is worse than necessarily him thinking it's a good movie or him thinking that he's a good person in the movie, is that he thinks it's a legitimately complicated portrait of who he is as a person, and I don't know if it lives up to that.
Yeah.
See our episode.
Yeah, I did see something that was like he wanted a sequel to the movie to be made,
Yes.
which I feel like that's a thing. That's a thing where it's like he thought it was such a. Or I think he thought it was a good representation of him.
Bruce
or in a
Springsteen.
way.
Bruce Springsteen recently approached Scott Cooper and asked if he would be down to direct a sequel about a week and a half ago. No updates on that, but I guess
Yeah.
we'll let you know if we end up having anything.
Yeah, we'll see. I really don't want it to turn into the Springsteen cinematic universe. Like it's honestly like you don't watch A Complete Unknown and see Joaquin Phoenix return as Johnny Cash. Like it's like
Right.
we don't necessarily need that, but
Do biopics usually have sequels like this?
No.
I don't think so.
Almost
Yeah.
never. It's not a common
I was
thing.
gonna say
Yeah.
this.
It's Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere, and then The Social Network is getting a sequel next year, which is atypical, but not unheard of, I suppose.
Yeah. So I guess to answer that question, I think overall he is happy with it, and I think that he thinks it paints himself in such a good picture that I think he goes make another one, like do another story of my life or something.
I think the answer is unfortunately, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because I don't think so. I disagree with him. If you watch that episode, which you should, go watch it now.
Yeah.
You'll know.
Pause this one, go watch it, and then come back and see our review for
or finish this one and then go watch it.
yeah.
But you'll know that I sincerely dislike that movie.
Yeah.
But let's move into Bugonia, shall we?
Yeah.
This is not a
shall.
biopic.
No, it is not a biopic. It is a
Very
correct me if-
refreshing.
Yeah. It's was it a remake of a foreign film?
This
I
is a
believe?
remake of a South Korean film called Save the Green Planet.
I always forget the name of it.
Yeah, it's called Save the Green Planet with a little exclamation point. The original follows two conspiracy-obsessed maniacs who kidnap the CEO of a major pharmaceutical company and hold him, in the original, in their basement because they think that he's an alien. In the Yorgos Lanthimos film, two conspiracy-obsessed maniacs kidnap a CEO of a big pharmaceutical company because they are certain that she is an alien. So,
Ooh.
Oh, love the distinction there.
look at that.
Yeah. I guess any background knowledge on this
Yeah,
one?
I've got a bunch. So
Yeah.
I think the elephant in the room is the filmmaker in this one. Yorgos Lanthimos has been putting out a film a year for a couple years now. He had Poor Things in 2023, Kinds of Kindness in 2024. This year he has Bugonia. All three of those movies, and plus a fourth one before that called The Favorite, feature Emma Stone.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, she's become really the new collaborator with him.
She's a very common collaborator with Yorgos Lanthimos at this point, which is interesting. It's an interesting direction to see her go, but honestly, I don't hate it. I think she's a great actress.
Yeah, she's a very good actress.
This is also the second collaboration between Yorgos Lanthimos and Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons who
You may know him as Todd from Breaking Bad,
yeah.
who appeared in season 5, I believe.
He had a couple of smaller roles. He was in the Battleship film with Rihanna.
Yeah, he was also in he had a small role in Killers of the Flower Moon,
Yeah.
the most recent film from Martin
Right.
Scorsese, and he was also in The Power of the Dog, which was an Oscar-nominated film from a couple years ago.
He broke out, I think, properly in a bigger way for his role in the Alex Garland film Civil War last year.
Oh, that's right, Civil War. That's what I was thinking about.
He had a fairly pivotal role in that, as far as I understand. At least he did in the trailers. And
Yeah, he had a big role in that movie.
that clip from the trailer was big online, and Jesse Plemons started showing up in more things, I think, because of that.
Yeah.
Plemons was in Kinds of Kindness alongside Willem Dafoe, who was also in Poor Things. Yorgos Lanthimos' web of collaborators feels mostly like whenever he has a certain kind of character, he has an actor that he goes to cast it. Like if we need an old guy, we cast Willem Dafoe. If we need a young guy, we cast Jesse Plemons. If we need a woman of any age, really, we cast Emma Stone. That kind of feels like his approach to it.
Yeah, in some sorts, yeah.
This is also the Halloween release for this year.
Yeah, which is a little strange, but
it was battling in the box office against, I think, third week holdover Black Phone 2.
yeah.
Which is one of the only major horror movies to like get released in October. It's been a very, very weird month for movies this month. Usually October is a horror month, right? You associate it with horror, but seemingly not so.
Yeah.
Just look at our weekly playlist for
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
that's
weekly
true.
playlist.
That's
we,
true.
we record a review of one episode, like one movie a week. So if you ever want to know what came out that was really big for a specific week, we have an episode on it.
Yeah, that's right. We do.
So,
Yeah.
anyone else have anything to say, or shall we jump into the plot of the movie?
Yeah. I guess
I-
yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay,
go
you
for
go
it.
first.
Yeah, I guess I will say like with background knowledge of this one.
Oh yes, go ahead.
Yorgos Lanthimos is certainly somebody that I am familiar with. I have watched Poor Things, which was the last, I think, big one he did. I did not see Kinds of Kindness last year. I was not a big fan of Poor Things. I thought the initial setup of that movie just really rubbed me wrong, and unfortunately they didn't do much to really win me over on why that was such a grotesque setup. So the movie just really just rubbed me wrong. And it's not one that I'm like, I can see some people loving it, but it's one that's just like, I couldn't really get behind it. And when he announced a new one, like Bugonia was like the other big one that he was doing with Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, I was kind of like, maybe this will work, maybe it won't. I don't know. I was really skeptical going in that this was going to be a movie that I wasn't going to be a huge fan of. Did I like it? Did I not? I guess you will have to listen to find that out.
Yeah, that's a good point. I am a fan of Yorgos Lanthimos. If you listen to our most anticipated at the beginning of the year,
Yeah, that's
I
right.
put Bugonia very high up. I think it was at number 8. Like it was top 10.
Yeah, I think it was pretty high on your
I
list.
saw Poor Things, and it's a movie that I don't blame anyone for not wanting to watch. The subject matter it deals with is incredibly unapproachable and unpalatable. Very much of that movie is Emma Stone's character, who is, for much of the movie, a child mentally trapped in an older woman's body, being sexually assaulted by various men and coerced into sexual acts. And it's like a very, very difficult movie to watch. I do not blame anyone for not watching it or not liking it if they do watch it. That being said, I found it quite good. I thought that its commentary, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, but a lot of Yorgos Lanthimos movies have a sort of meta commentary about the movie itself, and I'm a sucker for meta commentary. And I found the ideas that he explores quite interesting in that movie. And so that's where I'm coming from with Bugonia, as someone who likes Yorgos Lanthimos' style of filmmaking and also his brazenness in some senses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and putting it in perspective from my end, this is my first Yorgos Lanthimos film. I haven't seen anything else that he's made.
Yeah.
But also breaking the theme of, I actually watched the trailer for this, and you
Whoa.
guys
Whoa.
didn't actually introduce this.
Whoa.
Was it on like a four?
What, was
4
it?
week
Was
streak?
it? Was it like? Was it played before a movie, or did you seek it out?
No, this was something we watched together. So
Oh,
Okay.
maybe. Oh, maybe
okay,
it was.
yeah.
Maybe
So
it was.
this was one of those. So normally, we see a movie over the weekend and then record like the Monday after, right? That's our schedule. we usually tell Logan what we're seeing
Yeah.
like 5 minutes before we buy tickets for what we're seeing,
Yeah, that part is true.
which is usually like the day before we actually see it. So it's very short notice typically. I informed Logan of what we were going to be watching right after we finished our previous movie, which was Springsteen. And so I think, I mean, you can corroborate because you're in the room, but I think you had a little bit more time to prepare for this watch.
I don't usually prepare much for these things, but
That's fair.
I just
Fair.
go into it.
Yeah,
That's fair.
wherever the road takes you.
Yeah. I respect that a lot. So shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's go. Okay. This movie starts with the Jesse Plemons character. His name is Teddy Gatz.
Oh, Teddy, that was his name.
Teddy.
His name was Terry for some reason. I was sitting down to process my mental notes, and I was like, "What's his name? Terry? Timmy? Oh, Teddy."
That's
There
a
we go.
good sign.
Is that
That's
a
good
nod
sign.
to Teddy? What's that one serial killer?
Ted Bundy?
Ted Bundy.
I don't
thought-
think it's a nod to Ted Bundy.
Ted something.
I mean, yeah,
or
Ted
T something with a
Ted
G.
Bundy.
I swear I had it in my mind. Maybe it's that,
Huh.
but
Well, if you know what serial killer he's talking about, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Did Ryan Murphy do a series on him?
I don't know.
Okay, well, that would narrow it down to like 3. Yeah. So, Jesse Plemons' character Teddy, he has a monologue about bees, and bees are a relatively important part of the movie. He says that when a bee pollinates a flower, it quotes all starts with something magnificent. And then he goes on to describe how bees pollinate a flower, likening it to, quote, sex, but no one is uncomfortable and no one gets hurt.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I had 2 things go through my head when that played. One was if Yorgos Lanthimos directed a live action version of a Bee movie, it would be insane. It would be insane. Like, that's a movie that Jerry Seinfeld's still apologizing for. Imagine Yorgos Lanthimos with that opening doing a live action Bee movie would be crazy.
That would hit top 500 most anticipated. I'm not even going to
Will not
lie.
apologize.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. As soon as I heard that line, I turned and I said that it's a Yorgos Lanthimos movie, so it's going to have a weird sex scene.
Yeah.
Yorgos Lanthimos is on a bit of a streak. There's a lot of sex in Poor Things, and then an orgy in Kinds of Kindness.
Yeah, eating dinner while watching Poor Things was not a good idea.
Oh my
Do
god!
do not eat anything when you watch Poor Things. Please don't. I don't think that detracted from. I don't think that really added or subtracted from my experience with that movie. But yeah, I had a full course meal in front of me during some of that.
A
So.
4-course meal.
Or a full, not
Oh,
4.
full, okay.
I'm not that fat.
I was gonna say, where were you eating at?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was just on my couch.
Someone attended a business meeting in New York City.
Yeah, no, I had a whole buffet. I was in a suit. Had a
Yeah,
little,
show Mars.
had a bib in front of me. You know, whole OGO.
So, the Plemons character, Teddy, and his cousin Don, played by Aidan Delbis, are convinced, or rather Teddy has convinced Don, that Andromedons, aliens from the Andromeda system, are controlling the planet. And one of their big kinds of proof of that is colony dispersal syndrome or something.
CDC. That's
CDC?
Oh,
Did-
or something like that.
disintegration or something like that.
CDD.
It has to do with bees.
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
the idea is that bees leave their queen and then die without their queen, and then there are no more bees, and that's the Andromedans doing because the Andromedans, and I call them the Andromedans out of force of habit. But
Yeah, because it's not explicitly mentioned in.
the pronunciation of Andromedans
Yeah,
in
it's
the
pronounced
movie is
differently.
Andromedons,
Yeah, Andromedons. That's right.
which makes them sound like a dinosaur.
Yeah, the Andromedonus Rex.
Yeah. Basically, he's convinced that Andromedons are controlling the planet and killing people, and the tell is that they're killing the bees because bees supposedly fertilize 2/3 of the food that we eat. I don't know how true that statistic is, but honestly, nothing that Jesse Plemons says in this movie should be taken seriously, I don't think.
Yeah.
So we get to the Emma Stone character, who's named Michelle Fuller. She's a big CEO for a big pharmaceutical company called Oxalith. According to Teddy, she's one of the Andromedons. And so they kidnap her. They go to her residence. They wear masks of some like stock woman that they bought like
It looked like a $2
yeah they
From
taped
Spirit Halloween.
Yeah,
Spirit Halloween.
So they literally went to Michael's, and like I would recognize those shelves anywhere. That's a Michael's.
Yeah, they went to Michael's and dressed like they
And-
pulled a Michael Myers.
Yeah, and they bought paper cutouts of this random woman's head and taped them to their face to kidnap her. Although
And they
Teddy
had
does
silver jumpsuits.
yeah.
Oh yeah, the silver jumpsuits. Yeah.
Well, they're beekeeping outfits.
Oh, I thought they
Oh,
were. I always thought they were a
colors.
different color, but I guess in that movie it was. I think it was gray.
Yeah, the beekeeping outfits in this movie are gray, red by the end, but
Yeah.
gray. Yeah. So they take her in her car. They shave her head because, according to Teddy, the hair is where the like communication nodes are with her mothership. Like the Andromedon mothership. The people in the mothership will communicate to Michelle through her hair.
Yeah, and another thing to note that the scene where they do that, like Emma Stone, like they actually shaved her head for that.
Yes. Yeah.
Which
You'll
I thought-
notice in the
yeah.
press interviews her hair is significantly shorter.
Yeah, because like literally, they in the car during that scene, they actually like buzz her head off.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a nice little touch there.
Yeah, and
So like they'd have to do that in one take, right? Or
so
they don't
Yeah.
have much wiggle room for that.
Yeah,
It's
so
one thing.
imagine you like say action, you miss. It's like, oh, whoops, I missed. It's like, how do you restart
You
that?
miss.
Emma Stone did an interview about that, actually, or it was part of a larger interview with Letterboxd, I believe, in which they asked her, how do you go about doing that shot? How do you go about taking that shot? And Emma Stone said, it's good that I was asleep during that shot because there's no performance necessary. We don't have to ever call cut. And also, it's written in such a way where,
She was asleep. Like
yeah,
she just
she was
forced herself
drugged.
to. Okay.
They drug her. They inject some substance into her leg.
Yeah, I mean they don't actually do that to her, but
Well, they do it to Michelle in universe.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
She
I was gonna say like
her character was asleep. Emma Stone was wide awake, but pretending to be asleep. You know,
yeah,
she's an actor. They do that sometimes.
yeah. Unless it's the 1930s, then
yeah.
they drug her for real.
No, right, fair enough. But then also
not
the
even just
Aidan Delbus character is bad at it. Like Dawn is bad at shaving her head.
Yeah.
So if he misses or if he doesn't do it right, they can improvise a little bit. They like add a couple lines here and there and say, "You're not doing it right. You're not whatever." We all know by the end her head's going to be shaved. So how they really get there, that scene's not as pivotal as you might imagine.
Mhm.
And it's written in such a way in which they wouldn't need to take a second take of it, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
good because I can't imagine what they would do if they did. They'd probably
Yeah.
just wait till the end of the production to do it.
Yeah, it reminds me of the that one scene in Sonic 3 where they shave Jim Carrey's head.
Mm.
Like when he goes back as Dr. Eggman, like they actually sit him down in the chair and like buzz his head because he had really long hair at the time.
Was that for a role?
Yeah, it's for Sonic 3.
No, but his long hair, I mean.
Oh, I don't know.
Because after Sonic 2, he was supposed to take a step down from acting.
Yeah, I think it was just like how his hair grew out. But I remember in like Sonic 3, like when they set him down, he becomes Dr. Eggman again. Like they actually shaved his head off.
Huh.
So yeah.
well his hair off.
yeah.
Yeah,
They
they actually
shaved his head.
decapitated Jim Carrey.
No,
for-
they shaved his head off.
Yeah. Jeff Fowler, ever the perfectionist. So they interrogate Emma Stone or Michelle Fuller. They interrogate her character. Teddy essentially convinces Dawn not to talk at all. It's very clear Dawn is intellectually disabled,
Yeah.
and Teddy is very much taking advantage of him throughout much of the movie. Very much.
Yeah, it's like everything he tells him to, he just assumes that he would go along with it.
Right.
He's just his henchman basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we can see Teddy manipulating him, like legitimately manipulating him. And it's strange, you know?
Yeah.
There's a dynamic there that's not comfortable to sit with the whole time. So they interrogate her. Dawn doesn't say anything. Teddy's very mad at her. He's like, you are an alien and you just refuse to admit it. He throws a chair at some point. And
Yeah, I was like, it's not that deep. Like, Teddy.
But Michelle Fuller's her dialogue is very, very corporate. Like it's like she's
Very-
still
she
in the
uses the
office.
word dialogue in place of
Yes.
Yeah, she does.
just
yeah,
a
she
talk.
does. She's like, let's like
Mhm.
begin.
She says, "Let's start a dialogue.
Yeah.
Let's have a dialogue. We agree. Let's figure it out." And we kind of understand from the first scene that Michelle Fuller is not made out to be any sort of identifiable or redeemable character. We're looking at her telling her employees that they can go home at 5:30, which is already, we understand, 30 minutes past the traditional 8-hour shift. Plus, they previously were being kept even later, but then she also very clearly wants to like make sure that people know that if they do leave at 5:30, they will be fired. So we're clearly not subverting the idea of what a CEO is. This is not a surprise protagonist.
She's more of a representative of just the corporate
Yeah.
hierarchy in general and how just her at the top.
Yeah. I would agree.
I think you even see that in the scene when she's recording that one diversity training video. Was
Yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
So
When she's like at the desk.
we see her
recording.
recording a diversity training video, presumably for Oxalith and their employees, and she messes up the line. They're doing it in one take. She messes up the line on like the third line, and she says the reason is that they say diversity too much. And she has this very quippy line where she says, "Well, why don't we diversify the language?" And it's like, "Oh, you're so funny." So yeah, not a great person, not a very sympathetic person. I don't think we're supposed to like her.
Yeah.
But that being said, her being, kidnapped in this situation is still not fun to watch. It's not fun. Like it doesn't feel cathartic, especially knowing who's behind it, as we have seen Teddy manipulate Dawn and into believing some really crazy stuff.
And chemically castrated.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
a scene early on in which Teddy essentially forces Dawn to be chemically castrated, despite Dawn very clearly saying that he does not want that. So, not a great person. Very bad people all around. Michelle tries a couple of different approaches. She tries to reason, tries to open a dialogue, and then she tries to play along. Teddy gives her a little recording device to record her confession, or not even her confession, but her request for an audience with the Andromedon Emperor, and to record it in Andromedon language. And the tape he gets back is essentially her saying, "I admit it, I'm an alien." And Teddy's like, "This is not at all what I asked you to do," because it's in English. And this is where we start being told the movie in chapters. Many Yorgos Lanthimos films have chapters. Kinds of Kindness and Poor Things both did. In this, each chapter is 1 day closer to the lunar eclipse. So the lunar eclipse is in 4 days at the start. Our first chapter is 3 days, and then 2 days, and then the night of.
And immediately you notice in the frame or whatever that the shot of the 4 days into the lunar
There's a
eclipse,
little transition shot, like a
yeah.
graphic
Yeah.
on screen.
you see the Earth, you see a map of the Earth, and you see an ice ring around it. You know what that suggests?
It's a flat Earth.
Flat Earth.
Yeah.
Flat Earth.
Flat Earth.
Earth is flat. It's real.
It's
This
real.
one's real.
Lanthimos knew it all along.
He knew it all along.
Yeah.
And I think it's more indicative.
You heard it here first.
It's more indicative of, I guess, Ted. What are his names? Ted's
Teddy.
character,
Teddy.
and
Like the bear. Or the Roosevelt.
The talking teddy bear.
Yeah, it's more indicative of like his psyche and what he believes, and we're supposed to think that he is completely into all of these common conspiracies that we all know that these type of people believe in, flat earth, aliens, Bigfoot, that sort of deal.
His worldview is already so perverted that even when he learns reason, he learns it within the confines of his own worldview. And we'll talk about this a little later, especially with the ending, but many of Yorgos Lanthimos' films are told in a somewhat figurative way from the perspective of the character that he finds most interesting. So this movie is told from the perspective of the Jesse Plemons character, Teddy Gatz. Poor Things is told from the perspective of the Emma Stone character.
Yeah.
Bella, I think, is her name.
Oh yeah, something like that.
And I think to add on to the perspective, can we talk about the scene where I forgot her name, the CEO lady,
Michelle Fuller.
Yeah, where she tries to explain to him about the concept of echo chambers and
Yes.
how they affect his worldview, and Ted seemingly has heard it all before, and he doesn't want to believe what all the mainstream media says about what he believes, and he knows that he's right.
So there's a scene where Emma Stone has been shaved. She's on the bed. She's been covered in antihistamine cream because that supposedly lowers the ability of the nervous system of the Andromedons. And she says that she thinks she understands what's happening here, is that Teddy is caught in an echo chamber, which is an online space in which many of the same opinions float around and around and around. And essentially, the only things that you get are people that agree with you. And that is very convenient because if that's the only thing you see, then you have no reason to ever challenge your worldview. A very, very convenient, but also very dangerous thing because it allows you to get deeper and deeper and deeper into the, absolute mind sludge that these places produce. That Teddy is not at a level in which his theory is that Andromedons exist. The Andromedons are the foundation of his entire worldview.
That's his metaphysics. That's his reality for him.
Yeah.
Right. Without Andromedons, there's nothing for him. He has no ideals. Everything revolves around the Andromedons, which is just so many levels of separation above what other people think. Because as far as I know, Andromedons don't exist.
Yeah. Or maybe they do.
Maybe they do.
Maybe Yorgos Lanthimos created them.
What if this is like Stanley Kubrick admitting that he faked the moon landing?
Yeah. Yeah, who knows?
So, yeah, that's where we are right now. Speaking of the antihistamine cream scene, we have basically they're rubbing cream all over her because it lowers the nervous system of the Andromedons, and
you get long shots of Emma Stone rubbing cream on her legs. It's a little bit much.
Yorgos Lanthimos, in some shots, it feels like guest directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, like they show her feet on the mattress.
There's a lot
they show her rubbing her
happening.
legs, and it's just like
a lot of feet happening. But you know
Yeah.
what? Yorgos Lanthimos, as far as I know, isn't in this movie. So
no, he isn't. Yeah,
no
he's
chance, no chance to suck on Emma Stone's toes. Yeah.
Maybe off screen, but
Not. Maybe off screen.
Well, it's been 4 movies, so
Yeah.
they work together well on some level. Jesse Plemons' character Teddy says very specifically, very outright, that rubbing antihistamine cream in order to weaken her nervous system is not torture unless it's done to us. Probably the most obvious double think in this whole movie.
Yeah.
It's just like the scene where he has to understand that he is actively harming this creature, but the fact that it is a creature suggests that he's actually not doing anything wrong. Isn't that convenient for him? I have this marked as Act 2. We get a flashback, a black and white flashback. Yorgos Lanthimos loves playing in black and white.
Yeah, done very well, I will add. Done very well.
It's this weird black and white surrealist flashback of the Jesse Plemons character talking to the Emma Stone character. The Emma Stone character is apologizing because this certain kind of drug didn't work right on Teddy's mother. And Teddy is holding onto his mother like a balloon, from a balloon string. I think that's
the second black and white flashback. The first one that we see is his mother with all these acupuncture.
Yeah,
sticks
she has
pointing out of her.
She has the acupuncture.
And little kid Teddy is just pulling them all out. They look like swords at the end, but
and then she floats out of the bathtub.
Yeah.
Right, you're right.
And watching both of the I guess since we talked about both of the black and white scenes, I'll get into my thoughts later on in the movie as a whole, but I feel like Yorgos Lanthimos, if he does a movie in black and white entirely, I think that'd be really interesting because I feel like those scenes he directed really well. And I feel like there's a certain style that he brings that I think just elevates it a little bit more. Just very unique. It's not like Toller. It's it cuts, you see black, it cuts back to another person's face, and then it would cut to a conversation, then it would cut to someone floating up in the air. It's very artistically done, and it's one that just like, even though there's only two of them, I feel like if Yorgos Lanthimos did a black and white film at some point, I feel like a lot of those techniques I think would be interesting to see.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't overdone. I think
Yeah.
those two scenes were perfect for what that was trying to achieve.
Yeah, I agree.
Those cuts to black that you mentioned are very important to my interpretation of the movie, because when you do something like that, you have to have a purpose behind it. And generally, I trust Yorgos Lanthimos to have a purpose behind the thing that he does. So I think that there is a meaning to those. And I'll get into that later when we get to the end. I have a couple of different ways of interpreting this movie. I find it fascinating as we get closer to the end.
Yeah, once we talk about thematics and stuff.
Yeah. So we learn Michelle Fuller covered up the failed trial of this drug that was supposed to cure some disease, like a blood anemia or something. I wasn't.
I don't think they specified.
They said it's some blood disease, like maybe a low blood pressure
She had
medication.
something. I didn't quite catch what it was. I just saw her like she was in a hospital bed, but
Yeah.
there wasn't too much there. They just kind of focused on like Teddy and his cousin.
Regardless, she's comatose because of this drug. She's stable. She's comatose. That's the right word. Dawn is sent to guard Michelle for a while. Michelle starts targeting Dawn a little bit. She kind of notices that Dawn is a little bit more outcast. And
This is his cracks.
yes, his cracks.
Yeah.
The cracks in the armor of this, because it's not clear if he actually believes in this conspiracy as much as he believes in Teddy, and Teddy believes in this
And that he
conspiracy.
hopes that it's true.
Right. It's one of those things where Teddy is he preaches individuality, but he relies on conformity and subservience in order to further his goals of, quote unquote, getting the Andromedans out of here.
Yeah.
They do a shock test. Michelle, it turns out, is Andromedan royalty, apparently, because she has a very high pain tolerance. We get a little hint that this isn't the first time that this has happened. Teddy says that it's never gone that high before, like the voltage has never gone that high before, which suggests he's done it to other people.
And did you say like that they just electrocute her in that one scene? It was very uncomfortable.
The shock
Yeah,
test is
it was-
literally
it-
just
it
them
was
electrocuting
crazy.
her while she screams in pain.
Well,
Yeah,
Emma
it was a
Stone,
little uncomfortable to watch. I mean,
like the way she screams, it sounds so
yeah, and also like
convincing. Like it's not just she's going.
yeah, and I will say for being kidnapped, like up until that point, like she was remarkably calm. I don't know if that was just part of her, but like she was remarkably calm. Like she was just sitting in the bed, just like, oh, like here I
Well,
like
she was crying.
yeah.
She was crying, but she also, and she mentions that she has a lot of connections. She's like a very powerful person. She
Yeah,
said
like she's not scared of them.
she's powerful
she's
enough
not
for the
scared of them.
FBI to come and like look for her. So how scared is she? I don't know. Well,
Yeah, I guess there's something to that, but I feel like up until then, it was like mostly she seemed a lot calmer. I'm not sure if that's exactly what they were going for, but
fair. Well, I mean, I also would be less calm after getting electrocuted.
yeah,
So they have dinner together. He like goes to the store, buys a dress, buys a coconut cake. She has dinner with them. They bolt this chair to the ground, and she notices that the dress says Sandy G on it, which is Sandy Gatz, which is Teddy's mother, and she remembers Teddy's mother. So now she understands a little bit more about his motivations behind this, and so she mentions his name. In an excellent scene, Jesse Plemons crawls across the table to attack Emma Stone.
Yeah, and
And-
even
Yeah.
before that, the build up with the tension up until that point, like the conversation they had, just slowly going toward Sandy as a topic, and Emma Stone's character just basically rage baiting him
Yeah.
in a way.
yeah, in a sense, it's a very well done scene. I mean, Jesse, I know how much you love dinner scenes in movies.
Yeah,
So
that's
this
my
was
favorite thing.
Yeah, so it was a nice little touch. I mean, their meal is basic, but the conversation I
Cold
think is what.
spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, cold spaghetti and meatballs, and a cake off to the side that they never got to eat.
Right, because he attacks her. Dawn ends up actually hitting
Emma Stone.
Emma
Yeah, Emma
Stone
Stone.
in the
butt
hip
of the shotgun.
with the butt of the shotgun. They go downstairs because the town sheriff has showed up.
Yeah,
at
we
their
should probably talk about
house.
him. He showed up once before.
Yes,
Was
so
it Casey?
his name is Casey.
Casey. That
His
was
name
his
is
name.
Casey.
I'm surprised I remember.
He's-
I'm surprised that's the name I remember.
He's introduced himself as Teddy's babysitter from 20 years ago, which I
Yeah.
Yeah,
at
which
first,
I thought was a little.
At first, I thought that was metaphorically like just some guy he knew from his past, but it turns out
No, it's his legit babysitter.
yeah, because like
Yeah,
they
who just so
don't
happens
look-
to be a cop now. And it was
Right,
just
he's
like,
he's
cool.
a town sheriff now, and
like age-wise they don't look too far apart. So
no, well, I think the idea is that Jesse Plemons' character is like a little older than, or he looks a little older than he is, but also you don't have to be that old to be a babysitter, because I could easily see Jesse Plemons in that movie being 32 and Casey being 48 and him just babysitting him when he was 16. Like, that's a pretty normal age gap for a babysitter.
Oh, maybe.
Casey supposedly, we don't get a lot of information on this, but he did something horrible and horrifying to Teddy when he was a kid that he has never forgiven himself for. And we see Teddy forgive himself for it, but we don't know exactly what, and we know he's not
it's
super convincing.
implied. It's some sort of pedophilic act. Like he says
Something that-
explicitly
Some sort of
that
abuse.
he didn't, quote unquote, didn't like it. That he did it just for the power.
Yeah,
And that's a very common.
he also says he didn't do it to anyone else. It's
Yeah, it's pretty much implied.
they're using a lot of that terminology that you would associate with someone defending themselves for committing an act of sexual violence.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're getting, and we're just adding some more layers to Teddy's character, or at least to Teddy's life. And they have a slice of cake. Casey kind of interrogates Teddy a little informally about Michelle Fuller, because there's a whole investigation. Teddy actually works at Michelle Fuller's company labeling boxes, which is kind of mentioned. Like, there's one scene of him there, and he says to his coworker to file a complaint with OSHA because she was injured, like, at the workplace.
Yeah.
And so Teddy eventually gets Casey outside so that he doesn't hear the struggles coming from below. All the while, Michelle is talking to Don and convincing him to join her. And the way that she does it is she pieces together, based on Don's reactions, that the police are upstairs. And so she says that they're going to arrest Teddy. And that if Don switches over his allegiance to Michelle, Michelle, with all of her power, can exonerate him, essentially.
As the alien that she pretends to be.
Yeah.
Right.
At least in this
well,
part.
she says she's not an alien in this part. She says specifically that she's not an alien. She's just a CEO.
Yeah. And then
But Don
'cause-
still kind of hopes.
Yeah, because
believes.
Don asked her at one point, it's just like, even if you were an alien, would you take me up with you? And
Yes.
she says yes.
And she says yes. And
Teddy, she's like, can you take me and Teddy up with you?
right. And Teddy refused to take Don up with him.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing where where Don wants to live in space, Teddy wants to live on Earth. And so Don feels kind of betrayed and also very conflicted, because to join Emma Stone's side, like to join Michelle's side, the way that she's framing it requires that he also betray Teddy's side, which is, kind of like not what he wants to do. This movement is built around Teddy. It's not built around Don. It's not built around Don actually being an individual. Again,
And
preach
that puts him
individualism,
under
practice subservience.
very extreme pressure.
Yeah,
And all
and
that leads to
with a shotgun. He's under extreme pressure with a shotgun, and he shoots himself in the face. A lot of blood goes flying in the wrong direction
into Emma Stone's
into Emma Stone's face. There's a lot of
conveniently.
blood in general in that scene.
It's very thick.
Yeah,
looking.
like
it's very thick.
Because like he turns the gun, he shoots himself in the
paint.
face, and it like legitimately explodes like everywhere.
Yeah. And Casey and Teddy hear the shot from, they're in the apiary where all the bees are. Teddy's a beekeeper.
Yeah. If you didn't piece that together from
Oh, yeah.
the opening scene, Teddy is beekeeper.
Teddy, before Casey can go back inside, Teddy blunts Casey to death with a shovel.
Yeah, and then all the bees
And
surround
then
him.
all the bees surround him and start stinging him.
Yeah, in my reaction, I don't know how many of you listening have seen the Wicker Man remake with Nicolas Cage, and the first thing that went through my head there was, not the bees, not the bees, not the bees. I love my eyes. And I just watched that, and I was just like, that scene would have played out so differently if Nicolas Cage played Casey.
Or if Yorgos Lanthimos directed The Wicker Man.
Yeah, or if Yorgos Lanthimos directed The Wicker Man.
That would be a different movie, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So Michelle discovers Teddy's secret stash of alien research, and essentially says to Teddy, hey, I'm an alien, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go into my car, and I have a bottle labeled antifreeze, but it's not antifreeze. It's a secret alien potion. The idea behind this monologue is that she is an Andromedon, but the Andromedons are actually benevolent, and peaceful, and actually want to help the human race. And so they're running a series of experiments to eliminate mortality, and Teddy's mother was one of those experiments. And if he takes the antifreeze in her back, like the back of her car, and injects her with it, then she'll wake up and be cured.
She takes the Viltrumite pill.
Yeah.
So he, Teddy, cycles furiously. He doesn't own a car, so he's on a bicycle pedaling furiously.
Yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't out of breath.
To the hospital. He breaks in, seemingly blows right past the front desk.
Yeah, it's remarkable. None of the front desk changed. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Nope.
He's wearing a beekeeping outfit covered in blood, covered in Casey's blood.
Yeah, it's remarkable. No one noticed.
No one noticed.
No one noticed. No one cared. He just runs into the hospital.
I imagine got the same feeling when he took the antifreeze out was it the Mercedes?
It's a car. I don't remember what brand it was.
I think maybe it was a Mercedes.
I
think
it's a space age car.
Yeah, I know it was like a
rich CEO car that
a rich car.
Neatly tucked away with a thin layer of leaves behind a tree by the side of the road. So.
Right. It's very like.
There's a part like when they show Emma Stone's character getting kidnapped, they show just how pretty her house is. And
right.
It's like
it's so clear that Yorgos Lanthimos, that's not what he's interested in. He doesn't care about the logistics of whether the police is finding the car or where he's hiding the car.
Yeah, like
that's
no
not
mention of the FBI.
Yeah, that's not what he cares.
Else.
Yeah. It's just they're investigating her, and then that's it. And
right.
Like,
the FBI's investigating, but the only guy that seems to be investigating is the local sheriff.
Yeah, who doesn't even go to his house mainly for that. It's just
right.
He's there to solve.
He wants to apologize.
He wants to apologize for that, and he's like, oh, by the way, oh yeah, I forgot I'm a cop. Let me ask you about this investigation. And
right.
It's like, why would that seems like an afterthought.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's when the bees swarm in and start
Not
stinging.
Not the bees.
Not the bees.
Not the bees. Not the bees.
It's the bees.
We love our eyes. And just like that one part from The Wicker Man.
Yeah. So, essentially, while he's going to the hospital, Michelle is looking around, poking around his secret stash of research, and seeing that this is not the first person that he's kidnapped. He's kidnapped many people that he believes to be Andromedons and has killed them. And Teddy...
The pictures they showed, that was another very disturbing thing. It kind of reminded me of
because you're like the serial killer stuff,
like like the real life photos that they'd use in video games. Textures like the Half-Life 2 burnt body texture. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've heard of Half-Life.
It's the stuff of creepypastas.
It's the stuff of
creepypastas. Yeah.
Realistic blood.
I do not recommend this, but if you've ever read Squidward Suicide, that's exactly the vibe of image that we're looking at here.
Except they aren't little kids. They're
grown men usually, but they're still grotesque and they're like crime photos, and it's quite disturbing.
Looks real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he used like real like crime photos and footage.
He definitely didn't use He definitely didn't use a mannequin. I'll tell you that.
No, it's not a mannequin. It's a guy.
Yep.
My guess is that it's a PA or something. Teddy, that is, injects his mother with antifreeze. It's not an alien cure. It's just straight up antifreeze.
It's blue and everything.
Yeah. He puts it into her IV bag. She flatlines. He jumps out the window in such a way that suggests this is not the first time he's broken into his mom's hospital room.
Yeah, and then suddenly there's a worker saying, "Excuse me,
excuse me,"
and just like it took them that long to find him. Was the front desk lady on her phone? Like was she asleep?
Scrolling on
maybe.
reels.
She's scrolling on reels.
That's another thing is that we get a little bit of like technology, but they're very clear that they're not supposed to use screens for anything other than research. And they also don't get the news from traditional sources, which is another aspect of this echo chamber, which is he's cut himself off from the actual news or the people that are dedicated to reporting fact.
Right.
Which isn't all news outlets.
Yeah.
Just so that we're clear. So we're now on the we're now at the lunar eclipse. We've hit the lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
And at this point, so each like transition scene, the 2 days, 3 days, the flat Earth is slowly rotating like towards us. So at this last day, it is completely or slightly parallel to us. You can clearly see the glass dome and the ice ring and the floor below the Earth. It's very clear.
Yeah.
The glass dome really. That's like when I first saw that, I literally pointed.
The glass
dome.
dome.
Yeah.
The glass.
Which will
Yeah,
be pretty important later, actually.
Yeah, and it's also a sense to where it's like the flat Earth thing. It's just like it follows two conspiracy theorists,
Right.
And so it's a little thing. It's just like why not tap into that? Why not tap into a conspiracy theory?
Right.
Where is the Earth flat or is it round? Which most people would say it's round, but nice little adding thing there.
So she goes to her office, and there's a very like strange scene in which she's like, "All right, we're gonna beam you up to the Andromedon mothership," and in order to do that, she literally says, "We'll beam you up," and then he says, "Did you just say beam me up?" And she says, "I mean transport you." It's like she's very clearly accidentally slipped up and made a Star Trek reference.
Yeah, she watched the entire Star Trek series beforehand.
So she inputs a 58-digit code into her calculator and then tells Teddy to go into the closet.
Who, by the way, has a bomb strapped to him.
Teddy has an IED, an improvised explosive device attached to his chest that he can set off at any point. They say when he gets into the closet, it explodes.
Yeah.
And
which
they
is
say,
what is suggested at that point.
They say it's because of body heat that accidentally set off the detonating mechanism. Emma Stone or Michelle Fuller, having been caught in the blast, is carted off in an ambulance, and then things get weird.
She's hit in the head with the head.
She's hit in the head with the head.
She's headbutted
the head of Jesse, the head of Teddy,
the
head of Teddy flies off and like hits the back of her head, and she falls
with literal spaghetti noodles strangling out of his neck hole.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of spaghetti, I mean they eat dinner with spaghetti, and then the spaghetti noodles fly everywhere.
Oh, there they are.
What's the connection?
What's the connection? We have to dive in deep to the meaning of spaghetti in this movie. Maybe it's pastafarianism with the flying spaghetti monster. Or something. I forgot what it was called.
Pastafarianism.
Pastafarianism.
Yeah, the one with the flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, little do you know, I'm actually wearing my pasta strainer hat right now. So.
Oh yeah, I was wondering where you got that.
Yeah, it just kind of appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah,
he's protecting himself from the
rays.
I didn't want to say anything at first, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's making the audio very tinny. So
if only there were video cameras in the room. Unfortunately, there are not.
Yeah, then you could see me slowly put on a new pasta strainer every sentence.
Yeah.
So Michelle wakes up. She goes out of the ambulance. She runs out of the ambulance. She goes back up to her office. And she puts in the code, she walks in the closet and gets transported to the Andromedon ship.
She was an alien.
She was an alien.
She was an alien this whole time.
Oh my God.
Which, right when I knew the point when she stepped over that broken glass like a trooper, that's when I knew.
Yeah.
No one can. I can't even step over Legos with 3 pairs of shoes on.
She did that barefoot.
Yeah. She trained her whole life for that.
With, mind you, a dislocated kneecap.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they slam her on the knee at one point.
Her kneecap was dislocated for about the entire third act. After Don kills himself, Teddy hits her on the kneecap and dislocates it.
And
as
she kind of relocates it.
She kind of pops it back in, but it's not acting
so
right.
It's like she could stand by her walking. It's very clear that she's not stable.
Her physicality in that scene is horrifying. It's like that leg looks so disengaged. It's really horrifying. So she goes to the Andromedon ship. As it turns out, she's the Andromedon Empress.
Ooh.
And they report back on the experiments. None of them are going well, so she decides to pull the plug on humanity, and every single human in the world dies.
And by pull the plug, she pops the glass dome.
Yeah, she pops the top.
She pops the glass dome.
That's what I'm wondering. What if the aliens walked into the room and they sneezed and then it exploded? what would have happened? Would it just like kill all humanity by accident? Like, whoopsie.
What do you think happened to the dinosaurs?
Oh yeah, they did mention that.
Yeah, so in Emma
dinosaurs.
Stone's monologue about being an Andromedon, she mentions that their 75th Empress discovered Earth when there were only dinosaurs, and it was like they sneezed or something and accidentally spread a virus that killed every single dinosaur.
In a sense. I will say that scene where like Emma Stone confronts Jesse Plemons, like when he's pointing the gun at her and she walks out, and it's like she's very clear, like she's trying to come across that she is an alien. And the fact that they're talking, great acting from the two of them. I think it's probably my favorite scene in the entire movie, just in terms of acting perspective. I thought it was just really effective.
Oh, and speaking of spaghetti, like the clothes the Andromedons
they look like
wear.
potatoes.
Oh yeah, they wear like burlap sacks.
Yeah, they're like potato sacks with like red hats or something.
Yeah, they do look like Star Trek creatures.
Imagine a Paddington Bear, but it was a person in a potato sack.
Imagine Maggie Simpson in her star winter outfit.
Maggie Simpson.
That's exactly what I was picturing. But
World
made
is
of
controlled
spaghetti.
by Maggie Simpson. You've heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. When you hear the pacifier, it's done. It's over. It's already too late.
I
She
can't.
takes it out and pops the glass dome with it.
Yeah, it's just.
We could do sound effects, but we don't have a bubble popping sound effect.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah.
But I can sound like a monster. These are the perks of the new studio. Welcome to the most annoying episode of the weekly spoiler review. Yeah. So what did you guys think?
I will say, this is a movie that I've had very complicated relationships leading up. Relationships. Wow, it's only one movie. Really complicated. Like when this movie was first announced, given that I was not a huge fan of Poor Things. Yorgos Lanthimos is someone that isn't quite on my wavelength in terms of how I watch movies and how I perceive movies. I will say, sitting on it, I guess talking about it for this podcast, I don't hate this movie at all. I really don't think. I wouldn't even call it bad. I like it a lot more than Poor Things, which wasn't too much of a competition for me. It's one to where I respect so much of the craft. There's great things in here. To me, in watching the movie itself, I didn't quite. It's a movie that I respected more than I enjoyed. To where it's like Yorgos Lanthimos is of course a very talented filmmaker. Jesse Plemons, Emma Stone, they're all great actors doing their thing. But there wasn't a whole lot that I connected with. And for me, what Yorgos Lanthimos finds the most interesting is not really what I find the most interesting. So there are certain parts of it that I thought were interesting. Certain scenes I thought were great. But the movie as a whole played very strange for me. So not one that I would say is certainly far from bad, but I would say far from great in terms of enjoyment value, at least for me.
Yeah, hearing you like digest the movie after like a day or so, like you definitely seem to like it more than you did upon
walking out of the theater.
Walking
out of the theater, I was kind of. Walking out of the theater, I was a little bit more negative on it. I wouldn't necessarily give it thumbs up or thumbs down. I think I'm firmly in the middle on this one.
Well, you can't. Ebert and Siskel have copyrighted
they're
the
gonna
thumbs
sue
up, thumbs down system.
Siskel and Ebert are gonna sue me. Please don't sue me, guys. Oh wait, they're dead.
The estates.
Yeah, the
of
estates.
Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, I guess this is a movie. I guess without using thumbs up or thumbs down before Siskel and Ebert come after me and possess me.
So
it's one that's
thumbs to
just
the
like,
left, thumbs to the right.
Yeah, so it's like I think I stand pretty much on the middle on this one. It's not one that really necessarily made an impact on me. I can totally see why it made an impact on other people. Not to give too much, but I think like Jesse liked this one a lot.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To where it's one that's just like on reflection, there's certain things I enjoyed more, but it's one that like I didn't necessarily enjoy watching it, but it's one that I appreciated a lot of the filmmaking techniques and things that Yorgos Lanthimos had to say. And it's one that I think is vastly better than the last movie I watched from him. But it's one for me. It's still not a movie that me and him we're not on the same wavelength in terms of those things. So would I watch his next movie? It's not one that I would go rush out to see, but it's one that's just like I'm curious to see what he has to offer. But I know it's probably not going to be a movie that's targeted me specifically.
Yeah, definitely. This being my first Yorgos Lanthimos movie, I definitely see how different he is from other directors, and I'm really interested in seeing more of his works. Maybe not poor things, because the way you described it, that's very disturbing. But
Yeah.
other than that, I'm, curious. To me, he's sort of like an anti-Wes Anderson.
Yeah, in a sense.
In a sense, like the way he shoots scenes, the way like the way a scene is composed, it's very artistically done, very deliberate, and like each scene has so much going into it. And I think the weirdness added onto that just makes it a vibe that I always really enjoyed with Wes Anderson, and I see that turn up to 10 in some senses with
Yorgos Lanthimos.
with Lanthimos. Yeah.
Yeah, both Wes Anderson and Yorgos Lanthimos have interesting things that to do with composition. Wes Anderson's very focused on being symmetrical. Things are centered on the screen, which is typically, rule of thirds. That's not how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Yorgos Lanthimos disregards some of the more obvious concepts of headroom and look room, and even the rules of thirds. The characters never feel like they're positioned on the correct third. It feels like
Like
they're
the
always,
dinner table scene, for instance.
Yeah.
Like I know what you said about how each of them were framed on the side of the table, how Emma Stone was, and then back to what's his face, Teddy.
Jesse
Plemons.
Jesse
Yeah, Jesse
Plemons.
Plemons.
I'm gonna call him Todd.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Todd.
But yeah,
That won't be confusing at all.
yeah, that really showed like the opposites. Like to me, they were barely into the third, but I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Do you think this is the most popular Jesse Plemons project not directed by Vince Gilligan?
I think most popular Jesse Plemons project as him playing a guy with whose name starts with a T and has killed a person that we usually would associate with, not being killed.
So I want to discuss that ending a little bit, and
Yeah.
I'll briefly give my opinion. I really like this movie. I'm gonna put it near the top of my year-end rankings, most likely. I don't know, top 5, but it might be in the 10. It might make the 10. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, like top 10 or 15 for you.
Yeah. We'll probably talk about it again in the year-end podcast.
Yeah.
Keep
I'm
an eye out
sure.
for
I'm
that.
sure this one will definitely be brought up again.
But the ending. Let's talk about how I interpret the ending, and if any of you have other ways, I'm happy to hear them. I've come up with a couple of ideas.
Yeah. Go for it.
The first is that Yorgos Lanthimos is very clearly a sort of figurative filmmaker. There's a scene in Poor Things in which Emma Stone stands on a boat, and we can very clearly tell the sky behind her is a painted set. It's a wall. It looks like they just painted a soundstage, and we know that that's not really how it is in the universe. It's making a commentary on the events that she's experiencing and how she sees them. It's something great that's also fake. Something that looks really good on the outside, but you dig into it a little bit, it's not so great. And so when I interpret something with that such strange imagery as the ending of Bugonia, I immediately interpret it as maybe this isn't totally real. Part of that is, remember how I talked about in the art house black and white scenes, there's a cut to black before each line. There's a cut to black when Emma Stone faints in the office.
Oh, that's right.
It cuts to black.
That does
And
cut
then
to
it
black
comes
there.
back to black. Oh, Amy Winehouse reference.
Oh.
It comes back from black when she's in the ambulance. Could be a connection there. It
Not
suggests
Back in Black.
Yeah, not the AC/DC song.
No. Wow, there's a lot of back in black happening. But she comes back in the
Wearing
ambulance.
red.
In black.
No, not in black, in color. And that whole scene takes place after the cut to black from that explosion. That suggests to me, and my guess is that, see, my interpretation, despite the ending, my interpretation of this movie is that Emma Stone's character is not an alien. And she never was. And that last scene takes place entirely within the dying mind of the Jesse Plemons character. We get maybe an instant of brain activity when the bomb detonates, where he's dead, but he runs through this last scenario in a fraction of a second, in thinking what has happened. There's a sense of failure about that last scene, a sense that outside of his own control, despite his attempts to control it, outside of his own control, there's been a failure, and that reflects on him, and thus his mission is left incomplete. He did not complete his mission of saving the world. Every single human perished. But it's interesting that the movie ends on the same level as the Jesse Plemons character, you know? The movie ends with everyone dead, and Jesse Plemons' character is also dead. For so long in the movie, we're kind of getting the events from the perspective of the Jesse Plemons character. He's not in every single scene, but a lot of it is just through his worldview. So there's no reason for me to assume that it isn't. I feel like this end scene is very, very figurative and is kind of like Teddy realizes that he was incorrect. He was wrong about something. And we, as the audience, also realize he was wrong about something. I think Emma Stone is very clearly stalling in that last scene where he tells him to go into the closet so that he can't see her. And she's typing a 58-digit code on the calculator, despite the fact that there is no need for a code that long. I thought that she was actually going to write, like, help or something on the calculator and, like, flip it upside down.
In 58 characters?
Well, I mean, the calculator only displays, like, 10 out of the 58.
Yeah, like it's clear it's not.
So
an
it's
actual
clear.
50,
it's like she's
like,
not, and we also don't see her type in 58 letters. It's like
like unless you're me during a math quiz, you're not going to type that many numbers into a calculator.
She's waffling at this point. She's completely waffling, and I think that when Jesse Plemons is realizing that he was wrong, he realizes that he was wrong again in a mindset that still reinforces the foundations of his ideas, which are just as screwed up as the other parts of his ideals. The ideal that there are Andromedons controlling the world and that are like destroying humanity, but there are a couple of things he realized he was wrong about. It's the very, very minor things. They will destroy the world, but are they intent on it? Maybe not. It makes him feel important to consider that his family had some sort of impact. His mother was an experiment for the Andromedons. And additionally, we get the sense that he also thinks that he realizes he was wrong about the Andromedons controlling the death of the bees. It's like, oh, they obviously aren't intent on the death of the bees because that would cause other innocent deaths. And Emma Stone even says earlier in the movie that research shows the bees' populations are increasing. And so he's realizing that he's been wrong about so many minor things, but his worldview is so static and unchangeable in his mind that he can't possibly conceive of the idea that Emma Stone isn't an alien because, and I think that this is the main theme of the movie, people succumb to reactionary movements when they're vulnerable. When they're fragile, when they're vulnerable, when they're at their lowest, that is when these movements pick them up. Jesse Plemons' Teddy was at risk of losing his mother when his mother dragged him into this conspiracy part, and that became the foundation of the rest of his life. Same with Don, who has nobody but Teddy to look up to, who is vulnerable. And when he becomes even more vulnerable and he's torn between these two things, he ends up killing himself because he can't escape the thing that has become his foundation, because when he was at his lowest, that's who picked him up. That's what I think this movie is about. And that's what I think the ending is supposed to do. I don't think it's literal at all. I don't think Emma Stone's character is an alien at all.
Yeah, I didn't think it was either. I thought it was like, at least from his mind, that's how the world ended, or that's it. Like,
yeah, his world did end.
Yeah, which in a sense that's what happened to him, and I think it was done like, it was done in an interesting way to where at the end of the movie when the bubbles burst, it cuts to very, very different locations, and it shows people like obviously being deceased. There's bodies on the floor. There's cars that have crashed.
Right.
Everything you just said about themes and stuff about this movie, I think, is really cool. I think, and it goes back to kind of even my perspective on the movie, to where it's just like all of that I appreciate. I think it's well done, but it's not one that resonates with me at least as well. I think I really respect the fact, like I definitely respect him a lot more here with this theme, where I think in Poor Things I think it was just a little too far for me. To where I think this one is just a little bit more kind of. I guess it's I'm trying to find the word, but I guess it's a theme that I think resonates a little bit better, but it's not one that fully connects, at least with me. But hearing Jesse talking about it, it definitely gives a perspective as to what this movie was about, which I think is really interesting, and something that some of it I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, and I think the world ends because his world ends. His movement ends. It's
Right.
He says it's only him that believes this. And there are people that believe similar things, but this human defense force that he's founded is him and Dawn, and by the end of the movie, both of them are dead. So that's the world that ended. Maybe not the physical world. but
Right,
That world ended.
And like in the end, Don never really believed, did he?
I think Dawn believed in Teddy more than he
Yeah,
believed
in
I think he
the
believed in Teddy
Andromeda.
just because of.
So yeah, Teddy
Like,
was
his was,
like
like-
truly alone in
Yeah.
his own world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the world that ended.
That's right. Yeah.
But in his world, he placed himself as the savior of mankind. So in his world, his death has brought upon the death of everybody else. And
Yeah.
that's his last thought. His last thought is that he was wrong and he approached it incorrectly, but he wasn't wrong fundamentally. And we know he was wrong fundamentally, but he can't think about it like that. He's just incapable of thinking about it like that.
Yeah.
And then his second to last thought is, "Ow, my body is getting ripped apart by a bomb strapped to my body. What was I thinking?"
Yeah. What was I thinking?
Right, he was wrong to strap a bomb to his chest.
I wonder what this button does. It's like it's getting a little toasty in there.
Is it just
Uh-oh.
is it just me or is it hot in here?
Or that one song by Nelly plays. That just sets it off right then and there.
Yeah, so let's do some ratings, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Jesse, you can start with this one since
This
you
is
gave the.
a 4.5. I gave
4.5.
Poor Things, and you can check my Letterboxd if you want to see my review. I don't know how verbose it is. It was a while ago, but I gave Poor Things a 4.5 stars when I watched it, and this is also a 4.5. I think it's probably a little bit better than Poor Things, but it's a 4.5 out of 5.
I'd say for me, I'm glad I was able to sleep on this one. If this was out of the theater, I definitely would have been a lot harsher on this one. Now that they've given time to think about it a little bit more, it's not a movie that I would say I love. I think it's far from the best of the year, at least for me. But it's also far from the worst. It's not one that I think is bad. I actually did surprise me with some of the things that I did take away from it. Much better than Poor Things in my mind. I would give it a solid 3 out of 5. I think it's right there in the middle for me. There's things I liked about it. Didn't necessarily enjoy all of it, but in a sense, like on reflection, there was things about this movie that I liked more than I did, or I thought I would. And there's also a side to it where it's just like Yorgos Lanthimos finds some things more interesting that I don't necessarily find most interesting. But there's also some things he added that where I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, in regard to ratings, I think it's a very interesting question to me. Particularly, I don't necessarily see it as me liking or hating stuff about it, but it's also not necessarily me being in the middle either. To me, my rating would be on such a totally different spectrum in line with what this movie was. It resonated with me in a way. Like, overall, if I had to fit it into a traditional rating system, I would put it in a 4.3. That being said,
A 4 out of 10 or out of 5?
that out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Alright.
not bad.
That being said, I would say I want my rating system to be 2D, 3D, like a 4D type of thing, because there's so many different elements that I would want to take into consideration.
Right.
But such a rating would just be very difficult to comprehend, even to myself.
On a scale of 1 to 10, you give it a green, is what I'm hearing.
On a scale of 1 to the square root of 5 imaginary times.
Yeah,
negative one.
it's like what's the first color of the alphabet or something.
On a scale from 1 to the Mandelbrot set, I would give it a solid 4. Again, 4.3 out
I
of
would
5.
give it the Mandelbrot's little tail. You know, it's like got like
Yeah.
a little flagellum on the end. I think it's cute. Oh, the name Bugonia, kind of confusing. Bugonia comes from an ancient Greek term that describes the ancient belief that bees spontaneously generated on the carcasses of dead animals. In case you were curious, another bee thing.
And another bee thing, according to all known laws of aviation, there's no way that a bee should be able to fly.
Yeah.
Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible.
This podcast has been starring Jerry Seinfeld
And on that note, do you want to finish us off?
Yeah, let's do some Letterbox plugs. I am Threnv on Letterbox. That is THRNV. Not only do I have my review of Bugonia up, I also just reviewed the original I Know What You Did Last Summer. Ooh. Check that out if you're interested.
Yeah, my Letterboxd blood is at MJ Spiegel. I haven't been as active as I was a couple weeks ago. If you want me to continue it, I've been really, really behind on rating movies. So if you want me to continue, just let me know in the comments. But if you want to read some of my other reviews I've done in the past, it's at MJ Spiegel, all lowercase.
And conveniently, I totally forgot the rules to what constitutes me getting a letterbox, because I know we did have a comment.
We got a comment.
But
is it
in my
a good
mind,
enough
it should
comment?
be
It should be a comment expressing
desire. Yeah.
That being said, if you have any thoughts about what we said in this episode, any questions about anything, it could be about this movie, it could be about any movie we reviewed, it could be about a movie we haven't reviewed, doesn't even need to be about a movie, or you just want Logan to get a letterboxed, leave a comment down in the comment box. We read all of them, and as you see, we respond to them live on the air.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, not live. I mean, this is recorded.
Pre-recorded.
Yeah, or it's
on
like
the air.
if you will post a comment, we will respond to it.
Off the air.
Off the air. Yes.
But
we make fun of it profusely.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't know if that's true.
Well,
we do a thing to it that makes you want to comment, and not a thing that makes you not want to comment. Capiche? That being said, it all ends with something magnificent. Roll credits.